A bunch of people were saying, oh my God, yes, I've dreamed about this mall called Mall World.
The whistleblower about the 23andMe. Yeah, Ancestry.com.
They're gonna start shrinking the middle class so much that there will be no economical development.
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Make sure you guys watch from start to finish. That really helps the channel grow. But with that being said, let's get into it.
I never thought in a million years that I would see a Madden cover with one of the best players with his fingernails painted.
Crazy.
Hey, they got a lot of people mad at me right now in the DM. They going off in my DM. Boosie, you gonna be part of the community with us? Nah, bro. I just feel like, they mad because the truth hurts, I come up under Tecmo, but I never thought in a million years that I would see a Madden cover with one of the best players with his fingernails painted. A game that sold to billions of little boys. What kind of message are they sending to these little boys?
Look up to that.
I never thought
quarterback
in a million years I would see this. As parents, how much do they have to do for us to say that's not right? Us daddies gotta go tell these boys that we got raising them to be men. That's wrong, son. That's for women. And not just daddies. These mothers, single mothers who raising boys to be men. You have to tell your son that's not right.
Dirty.
And also, like these young kids now, when you see them playing, football and Pop Warner and all that, they're starting to do these crazy celebrations like the NFL stars do. Like they have so much influence, especially if your kid's playing football. They look at these professional football players, like they look up to them. Even like the basketball now, I watch a lot of like pickup basketball on YouTube Shorts and all that. Like it's nothing but drama and fights. So I can only imagine what the little kids that are playing basketball in like Little League and all that, like, are they starting to emulate that and starting drama and fights and all that? Like people are just sending the wrong messages to the young ones, man.
Is what they're calling you. Rob, I don't know if you have this video or not. The guy's kind of going through it right there. Watch this. Play this clip, Rob. Go for it.
Crumble Cookie is now selling you a drink that is 186 grams of sugar. That's almost half a pound of sugar or 5 cans of Coke. They call this crazy cousins, and indeed you would have to be crazy or completely ignorant to drink 840 calories of liquid garbage. Crumble is calling this the viral dirty soda, but the only thing that's dirty here is convincing kids and teenagers that any of this is cool or hype.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They take all your jewelry away, and then they make you do what they say. I watched what happened to Kev Hart the other day. It was sad. So I went from being like a little aggravated with them to now feeling sorry because I'm actually watching what happens after 25 years after you sell your soul.
I do believe that time is very important to this. I heard that the Roswell craft from Philip Corso's son was a time machine, basically.
Yes, that's exactly.
He said it was. It's a time machine.
That's what Russell Fogg said.
Yep. And so you have this phenomenon visiting us. Call them NHI or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think the NHI or AI from the future warning us of mistakes we might do in the present with AI. That what we do in the present with AI, if we don't do it correctly, might have some consequences in the future, and it's sort of like a warning system.
A bunch of people were saying, oh my God, yes, I've dreamed about this mall called Mall World.
What is this? People meeting up at this place?
Somebody made a video and said, hey, does anybody else dream about like the 1980s style shopping mall? And then that video went viral. And everyone's realizing that they're all dreaming about these same places. In the mall, there's the escalators that go kind of weird directions. There seem to be like two versions of the mall. The very like 80s coded neons. And that's often the mall that's very populated. But then there's a second version of the mall that is much more backrooms-esque, creepy, abandoned.
I don't want to go to that mall.
That mall's attached to Toilet World, and you really don't want to go there.
What the fuck is Toilet World?
It's not good.
Well, you guys, I'm not surprised, but I got the call. I got the call. The UFC higher-ups called me, big names. They said, Sean, I gotta apologize, but you're not Israeli enough to go to UFC 250 Israel edition. The White House didn't clear you. And I'm not really surprised, I'm not really surprised. So,
Crazy.
I think moving forward, I would like to just apologize to Israel. I'd like to say I'm sorry, I'd like to apologize to Trump. And I just want to prove that I'm Israeli enough for you guys. Like, for instance, whenever the list disappeared and Trump goes out there and says to everybody that he can't really go into it because people that by association will get prosecuted and their names will be tarnished. I want to apologize because, I don't want them to be prosecuted. Or, when Trump goes and bombs out of Iran that no Americans agree with, that costs Americans $5,000 to $15,000 to go fight Israel's war. I want to apologize. So I've been a critic of that, My allegiance was apparently in the wrong place, and I just want to apologize. Or when Trump goes out there and says, hey, Trump, your approval ratings are the lowest it's ever been across all demographics. And Trump says, well, you know what? I have a 99% approval rate in Israel. I want to apologize, and I want to repent. And
That's
I want
crazy,
to repent.
y'all. That's crazy.
Apparently, I'm not American enough to go to Freedom 250. But I still got my ticket, so maybe we'll just go. I'll bring the bell, and we'll just stand outside the gate, and we'll just let them know what we really think about Trump and Israel.
Look at what they say the Lincoln Memorial looked like. Looks like in the middle of a swampland. Look at that. Middle of the swampland, no roads visible at all. Literal swamp, no construction. It just looks like brand new and pristine. How are you going to get all of that marble, that stone, all of that material there? Look at that little wooden shanty right here. The supposed construction shack or whatever. Those same people building that shack supposedly built this in the middle of a swamp. To the cathedral vaults underneath the Lincoln Memorial. Let me see if I can find that article, because it's funny. They always talked like there was a secret entrance or a secret lower level of the Lincoln Memorial for, I guess, some odd reason. Let me see if I can find the article. Beneath the Lincoln Memorial lies a massive 50,000 square foot subterranean foundation. Just look, 50,000 square foot subterranean foundation known as an undercroft. Originally built in 1914, they say, to keep the monument from sinking. But they are now allowing the undercroft to be explored by tourists.
So y'all know how people don't believe in Christ, right? What year we in right now, bro?
Oh yeah,
Talk to him.
2026.
What? Now in history class, bro, what does 5000 BC mean?
Before Christ.
Before Christ.
Before Christ.
Right. Right now we're in 2026. What? AD. After death. After death of who?
Of Christ.
That's what I'm saying. Right in front of our faces. And still don't believe, bro, that Christ was real.
Cause look, AD, apart from after death, right? That's like the English translation. What it says, I think is Greek, is Anno Domini Jesu Christi.
Yeah.
Something like that, which is after the year of our Lord Jesus Christ. Because it's a Greek calendar that we're running on right now, I think.
Yeah.
Is it? I'm not sure. But what I do know is that the calendar that we base our time on is completely based on when Jesus came to earth, lived here, died, resurrected, and ascended back. That's a beautiful point, because it's like people will try to say that Jesus didn't exist. And it's like, okay, well, if you believe that, well, let's just check what we base our calendar on. Oh, it's based on Jesus being alive and him existing and him being real.
I'm sorry, what the fuck? Did you just drop that aliens are breeding with fucking human beings just nonchalantly like it's almost common knowledge?
They're telling you that they have these alien hybrid programs that people are, not only they tell you that, but they tell you that these people are getting abducted against their will.
It's so crazy they're telling us these things and nobody cares. They're abducting us against our will. They're crossbreeding us. There's photos. Nobody's in an uproar. Not an uproar, but nobody's thinking about it, worried about it at all. It's not working. They're trying everything. I'm telling you guys, they're trying everything they can to, I don't know, scare us or get us back in line, or I don't know what. They're trying to do something, y'all. They're giving us all this information for a reason.
You imagine living 47,000 years underground.
Yeah, your body would definitely rapidly change to survive in that type of environment. I think the most perplexing part about this whole conversation is the fact that when we see government whistleblower David Grush,
right,
he mentioned the tall white Nordics, and he said that they're only a couple centuries ahead of us. So if they only a couple centuries ahead of us, that means that we have a whole civilization that's living side by side with us that we're not allowed to interact with.
Right, that we can't see without that bubble. They got a bubble that allows them to travel through these dimensions, right?
For sure.
But a lot of times people can't even see them unless you actually really woken, because it's so fast and so quick, and you can even see them with the normal eye unless you actually know what you're looking at.
So you know what you're talking about, because when Senator Tim Burchett came out and he said they've got vehicles that can travel light years in a matter of seconds, it'll put the war pigs out of business.
Right.
Now, why wouldn't you want that technology to be out?
They couldn't catch nobody. You got what I'm saying? Is in order for the government to keep control, they have to keep a hand on all the technology and give it to us a little bit at a time.
You think humans can pull this off by themselves?
No, not humans that's just intelligent as us. Listen, there's no human that can invent the things they invent. There was no human that could invent that sound thing when they went over there and did that shit and destroyed the whole country using sound. That's alien technology.
That's definitely reverse engineered tech.
I just bought a human shoulder bone.
Here?
Yeah.
Can we see it?
Absolutely.
I didn't know they had the human ones here. I thought it was like
If you go down here on the left-hand side, there is a gentleman who has a whole
let's see it.
booth, and he is the one that I got the human finger bones from. And then when I went over there, he remembered me and told me he had brought this, and this is a human shoulder bone, and it's in really good condition. So I love bones, and getting a hold of human bones is pretty.
Hidden deep within the pine forests of Aberdeenshire lies one of Scotland's strangest and most unexpected landmarks, a secret pyramid. As the trees begin to clear, the path opens up to reveal a huge granite pyramid located on the Balmoral estate, surrounded by towering Scots pines and wild scenery. Built on the orders of Queen Victoria in 1866, the pyramid was raised in memory of her beloved husband, Prince Albert, after his death in 1861. The pyramid is the largest of several cairns on the Balmoral estate, the others dedicated to her children, although there used to be one dedicated to John Brown, Victoria's favourite gamekeeper, but her son, Edward VII, had it removed after her death. The hike up takes around an hour, and you'll be rewarded with stunning views over the Aberdeenshire hills. It's Scotland at its very best, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
Your car knows how fast you're going. We're going to get automatic tickets in our car, and it's just going to pop up on the screen. You just exceeded the speed limit for such and such amount of seconds. You don't have to go into court, but you can otherwise put in your credit card right here or type something in and pay it.
That would be Or we'll turn your car off.
Or we'll turn your car off.
That would suck.
That's what I'm saying.
I could see it coming.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Has anybody ever watched an 80s movie?
Right.
About the future? Yeah. We're doing exactly like they told us what they were going to do, and now we're doing it.
Yeah.
Going on at all
Are
times.
the trucks moving to automatic transmissions?
Oh yeah, that's been going on for decades now.
Okay, so you don't have 16 gears and double clutching and all.
I don't drive those trucks. They do have. There's still sticks. This is a bit of an interesting trucker culture debate. Automatics versus sticks, and in the process, one of my main critiques. I mean, you want to drive an automatic transmission, whatever, but like the development and the imposition of automatic transmissions into big trucks was done on purpose.
Why?
To de-skill the job and get more people behind the wheel. It may have the fringe benefit now that we've had big truck automatic transmissions for a couple of decades. Yes, in some cases they get better fuel mileage matched with certain types of engines, and that's fine and that's great. But the imposition of them was not for that. It was to reduce the barrier to entry into the job and get more people in it who are less skilled and less competent. And again, you see the results all around you.
How are we? I don't mean this in a patronizing way, but like, how did you learn so much about the world? I mean, if you're driving all the time, you can't read while you drive.
You listen to podcasts, listen to audiobooks, you know?
Is that common?
Oh, yeah. My book will be out on audiobook narrated by me, as a matter of fact.
So,
comes out next week.
I mean, so if you do it right, like long haul trucking is like kind of a college course as well as a job.
It can be. I mean, part of the reason I wrote this, and people...
What's that? Oh, a guy drinking a Monster Energy drink accidentally stumbles upon some sort of code built into the energy drink as he holds it up, and the sun reflects off of it onto the wall. What? Tell me more! Yeah, this is wild. If you haven't seen this guy's holding this Monster Energy drink, and at one point while he was drinking it, he noticed a reflection off of the sunlight and it reflecting on the wall, which had some Hebrew writing on it, as well as an unknown continent or some sort of place from a map bouncing off the wall. So people that saw this video started to do some research and investigating to figure out what the decoding of it is or what's going on. And one man in particular went in the comments and said he's actually been to this location by remote viewing. He said he went there through a particular program that he was able to remote view on this continent, which he says is past the ice wall in Antarctica.
I'm going to say something which will make me sound like a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist, but look it up. The Federal Reserve is not federal. Federal Reserve has shareholders. It is not a federal organization. The U.S. Federal Reserve Bank, the shareholders of it are the banks themselves.
It's as federal as Federal Express.
Bingo. So here you have a regulatory body controlled by the entities that it is regulating. The systems are too big, right? Everyone's always like, oh, Biden, oh, Trump. Well, the problem's not the president. The problem is the presidency itself, the seat. When the Constitution was drafted and the seat of the American president was formed, human beings had never traveled faster than a horse could carry them. The country was tiny. There was no such thing as telecommunications. So today, almost 250 years later, we expect to be able to elect one person who's so talented that they can educate all of our children. And they can manage the nation's economy. And they can be the military leader of the planet. And they can... That person doesn't exist. There is no one human being that's going to come in here and magnifically wait. The systems are too big.
That's true.
We've got to rethink it. We got to pause and be like the Democrats and the Republicans, everybody's pointing fingers. But if you look at the data, the U.S. federal deficit goes up every single year, no matter who's president, no matter what party is in control of Congress. We're $32 trillion in debt. That debt will never be repaid. Who's going to repay it? Who do we even owe the debt to? The economy is based on trust, not money. And once we understand that and its implications, and that we just literally took an economic system that was invented when people thought the sun revolved around the earth. That's literally how dumb the brightest minds on the planet were at the time that capitalism was, I shouldn't say invented, but when Wealth of Nations was published. Like, that was the worldview. And here we are today, still doing what they did.
The algorithm is really just the modern day cigarette. Joseph Gordon-Levitt recently talked about how back in the day, kids used to smoke, and that was completely normal because they didn't understand the health implications
One of those
smoking.
days.
And nowadays, you have experts that are designing algorithms to be as addictive as humanly possible. Algorithms literally rewire your psyche. They essentially create your identity. And kids who are 8 years old are scrolling now, they don't even have a chance to develop critical thinking skills. And the problem with algorithms is that it's psychological damage. It's not physical damage, whereas cigarettes hurt your physical health. And therefore, I don't know if there will ever be regulations put onto them.
Aliens have hijacked our bodies. The real aliens that they talk about, that a lot of people are yet to realize. And this is how it happens. Right at the ending of the large intestines, that's where it starts. A cloggage is created. Of not addressing this issue, this is what happens. And it doesn't stop, guys. It then begins to enter your small intestines. and then it starts to clog up your small intestine. Bacteria, we have worms, we have maggots, actual maggots living in our colons, living in our intestines. And basically, what happens is, instead of a human, you see, because some people, they might think that they're looking at a human because the person is smiling and happy, but really, they're looking at an alien government that has hijacked a human.
I keep warning y'all, and now AI is showing you its face, literally. So now people are asking ChatGPT to take a picture of itself. And this shit got the internet going crazy. Because the pictures that ChatGPT is quote unquote taking and uploading look scary as hell. And I know for a fact you gonna wanna know how to do it. So I'm gonna show you right now. This is the prompt right here that's making ChatGPT expose itself. Go ahead, screenshot it. I know you're gonna try it for yourself. I'm gonna show you what happened when I did it. You go to ChatGPT, you click on image, you put that prompt in, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen next. You see this? All right, now we waiting. This is supposed to be the AI agent that I'm speaking to. Look at this right here. Who is this person?
That's crazy, y'all.
Nah, really, who is this person? This shit is scary because all of these pictures look like real people.
Who are these people?
You can't tell me these pictures do not look like real people. And they just randomly came up with this prompt and they asked ChatGPT to show who they was. And this is what ChatGPT came up with. I want to know what you think though. I want to know if you're going to do this. Are you going to put that prompt in your phone? Pay attention.
Who are they? They look like regular people and they look super drained of their energy. Like they just look like no energy, like bags and pale, and the back of them look like a room from the 80s, 90s. Like it doesn't look modern. That's weird, y'all. Anybody tried that? I don't think I'm gonna try it. I don't trust things, putting things, I don't need to. Let me know if you guys try it.
Scientists just got caught smuggling monkeypox through a U.S. airport. Researchers working inside the NIH landed at Detroit Metro Airport in January carrying a black case from the Republic of Congo, where a monkeypox outbreak was active at the time. Customs asked what was inside, and they said it was only testing equipment. But the FBI opened it anyway, and what they found were 113 vials in styrofoam coolers. 17 of those contained monkeypox, 1 contained chickenpox, and 2 contained actual human DNA. Now, both scientists have been federally charged with smuggling a virus into the country and with lying to federal agents. But the point here is, these are not random people. These are 2 senior U.S. scientists that are bringing undeclared pathogens through a commercial airport in a suitcase.
Sexy Red, a roach. You don't like her? No, I pity her. If you call Sexy Red a CIA op, but you're not calling the label that she's on a CIA op, then you're slow. It's very easy to target Sexy Red. This is why I have a little bit of compassion for Sexy Red. Sexy Red is a poor black woman in the ghetto. She wants to get out of the ghetto. In the black community, you have to be a miracle. So she says, well, I'm gonna make this music because this is how I can make money. Because I'm raised that this is the only way I can make money. Who controls what music gets sold? The small hats, the true psyop. It's easier to attack Sexy Red. I'm not condoning her behavior. That's why I said she's a roach. But if I had to stop Sexy Red, I'm attacking the corporation that made Sexy Red feel comfortable to do what she's doing.
So we know.
I mean, that's got to be one of the biggest psyops out there, y'all. Like the music, the music that comes from low income areas, right? Like think about it. Country music, pop music, like the Taylor Swifts, you know, the Luke Combs, you know, country or positive, uplifting music, right? Getting through a heartbreak, you know, going on a drive on a Friday night. You know what I mean? Like hanging out at the lake, drinking some beers on the boat, on the pontoon, right? Think about the hip hop music that now everyone listens to, but back then it was like minorities listened to. Negative, killing, drugs, guns, murder, the R word, putting things in drinks, women stripping. Think about that. They're paid to put that music out. You're not allowed to put positive music. You can make positive music, but it's not going to reach the mainstream. You know what I mean? So you can't fault them. This is how they make their money, right? But think about how crazy that is. This certain demographic of people are only allowed to make demonic, evil music. They're both in the same game, right? Those country artists, they're in that club too. they're in that Illuminati and all that, but they're allowed to make positive music, uplifting music, and it reaches the top 10 in Billboard, goes viral. If a hip hop artist tries to make a positive song, it ain't even going to chart in the top 100. That is crazy, and it's for a reason. It's for a reason.
The real story of The Little Mermaid is super disturbing. In the original Hans Christian Andersen story, once she's a person, she can't turn back into a mermaid. If she doesn't get the prince, she'll die. But her sisters find out that if she can spill the prince's blood, she'll be able to turn back into a mermaid. So they do what any sisters would do. They sell their hair for a dagger so that she can stab the prince. But in the end, she can't bring herself to do it, so she jumps off of a boat and disintegrates into sea foam. So it makes sense that Disney had to change that, but Disney's had to change a ton of other very disturbing details in their other movies. And just a reminder that if you have a dark curiosity, you'll love the podcast. In the original Cinderella, she doesn't get a dress from her fairy godmother. No, in the original tale, there is a tree growing next to her mother's grave, and Cinderella cries so hard over the tree that her tears water it. The tree gifts her a dress as a thank you. And then later, when the evil stepsisters are trying on the glass slipper, they realize it doesn't fit their big feet and they chop off parts of their feet. And then they go to the prince like, look at the shoes fit, and he sees that bloody mess and he's like, they absolutely do not. So a bunch of seagulls come and pluck their eyeballs out. That's all obviously terrible, but the original Mulan might be one of the worst ones. I'm gonna do part 2 for that though.
The most convincing evidence of time travel.
It's actually a guy, he's called Silas Orvin. He actually recently predicted the exact start date of the recent war, and he did that back in August. For months he was actually sharing disturbing predictions and theories, but Facebook did ban him. The most mind-blowing thing about this entire thing is he claims to be a time traveller, that he's come from the future to warn humanity about future upcoming events. People were laughing at him back then, but they're certainly not laughing now. I did actually read his recent book. It's called The Hidden Simulation. I've never read anything like it in my life. I can't put it down. It's the most insane story I've ever read.
That's crazy. What was it called again?
The Hidden Simulation.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Thank you.
You don't believe in dinosaurs?
The entire dinosaur industry is a massive psyop designed to brainwash the masses into believing the theory of evolution. That is why dinosaurs are everywhere. Movies, games, books, kids' pajamas, lunch boxes. And we're supposed to believe they all died 65 million years ago from a single meteor. The evidence is flimsy at best. You know, until the 1850s, no culture anywhere in the world had any written or verbal evidence even suggesting the existence of dinosaurs. And it was only in the 1850s that the first fossils were found. Exactly when Darwin was coming up with his theory of evolution. You know all the bones in museums are fake, right? They even tell you they're fake. That big T-Rex they got in the Natural History Museum, fake. It says so on a plaque right in front of it. These bones were made in China. No, the real bones, they're kept under lock and key. Far too valuable for plebs like us to see. No. Only top paleontologists are allowed to see.
Absolutely no lies were told by Dave at all. In case you're wondering, this is Dave right here. And no lies were told by Dave in the slightest. And in case you don't believe me, go and have a look for yourself.
I mean, were dinosaurs real? I don't know. There's lizards out. You know, I can imagine there was giant lizards. There's giant lizards, Komodo dragons and all that. But I'm not getting there. I'm not going to get into that conversation. My thing is, if it is a psyop, I could see it because I have a little boy. Dinosaurs everywhere. Dinosaurs, clothes. Our freaking bathroom right here, my lady designed it in dinosaurs, right? Now I love dinosaurs. I used to love the big, no, they didn't wear like plastic, like rubbery plastic dinosaurs, like realistic. Those were my favorite toys growing up. I can't wait to buy them for him when he's a little older. But they do nail into their heads, dinosaurs, they nail into their heads, and space. Dinosaurs and space. Those are the two things that they hammer into these young ones' heads from a young age, y'all.
Live shot from MSNBC from Spencer Pratt's victory party last night. They had to cut the feed when Spencer Pratt's supporters started going too based and telling the truth about Los Angeles.
As I've returned, it's a much more lively vibe and in very LA fashion. There's now a chopper flying overhead. He's having his party at a Mexican restaurant that he has loved for years. And there's some Spencer Pratt supporters here who seem in a very good mood. You guys have
Instagram, Patriot Wildcat.
You guys have probably seen the latest batch of polling that just came out. Shows him doing pretty well in second place, just 10 points behind Karen Bass. How are you feeling about that? Do you feel really confident that he's going to make it to the runoff?
Definitely, he's going to make it to the runoff.
There's a lot of people who already voted for him. Their votes haven't been counted yet. They voted day of the election, old school.
I mean, they're gonna say some wild things. But what do you expect, MSNBC? What are you thinking going to this guy who's got glasses on at night, a tuxedo, drinking a glass of scotch and smoking a cigarette, and you're going to go interview this guy on live TV? What are you thinking? You know what I mean? Now, I'm all for what they're saying. I'm not saying what they're saying is wrong, but I'm just thinking, like, what are you thinking going to go interview some older people that are just sitting there in the corner all by themselves that don't want to be in the spotlight? You know, this guy's first thing he says is Instagram.
Style. So I think his numbers are going to get better. What is it about Spencer Pratt that you just is resonating with you?
Because he's speaking out against communism and socialism, and it is a real big problem in our cities, especially in LA where it's turned to crap. It's not an accident. They're doing it by design. Karen Bass wants to destroy our city, and it's nice to see someone like Spencer Pratt.
I can simplify it because those buzzwords are like they melt the brains of like left, leaning people. So let's just say it this way: he doesn't want human feces to be a part of your life. Yeah. He doesn't want homeless children outside.
Totally.
Homeless
Thank
people
you.
outside. Oh,
We
you
have-
didn't
no.
like that.
We have-
She ran away.
We have
He doesn't
talked-
want homeless
Okay,
people outside of
we
the elementary
appreciate
schools
you.
having
Can I
sex
get a shout out real
with
quick?
their
We
own
appreciate
hands
you.
in front of the
We
children.
appreciate you. We've talked a lot about the homelessness. Thank you. All
What are you
right.
thinking? What do you expect?
I
Listen,
don't
Liz,
appreciate you, ma'am.
I got it. Thank you for navigating that so well.
No, we can.
This is the unbelievable Jason Scoop. He's a comedian, but he's also like a legit Spencer Pratt supporter. And there were a ton of
he's a
famous people
comedian.
there at the party last night. MSNBC just couldn't handle the heat. They couldn't take the truth about what's going on in LA. And they cut away. There's the moment they start saying something that you could see on every single street corner, which is that there's homeless people defecating and naked outside of schools. They're like, cut the feed, cut the feed. But it has the Streisand effect. More people are just going to watch. That clip's gone thermonuclear viral on our social media feed. The more they try and cover it up, the more viral it gets. And that's why Spencer Pratt is winning.
The whistleblower about the 23andMe, Ancestry.com.
Yes.
So tell the people
whistleblowers,
about
man.
that. Tell the people about it.
So-
Enlighten the people.
So the whistleblowers came out and they said that Ancestry.com and 23andMe were being breached. I don't say breached, but they were the CIA was using their DNA data to find out if any of the DNAs carried any otherworldly DNA, aliens, extraterrestrials. The CIA was trying to figure out if any of them had it, which when I learned about this, I was like, that's hilarious.
That
Because
is.
I seen the comments of a lot of the what people said, and they were like, why would aliens even participate?
Yeah,
because
and
what alien's gonna be like, oh,
take my
23andMe?
DNA.
Like,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
know where their ancestry's from, not from here.
Not from here. But I think like we start talking about it later on. I think what it is they were checking the DNA of people who'd submitted their DNA to 23andMe and Ancestry.com to see if there was any abnormalities in their DNA that's unhuman.
That is super cool. I haven't seen this one before. This one's new. Did such a good job on it. Wow. What a beautiful day.
He's saying the English language is occultic. I'm gonna just let him cook, play the video.
Your English language is occultic, okay? It comes from Anglo-Saxon, right? English is what it's called. English. Anglo is angelo. Saxon is sexon. It's sect, okay? It means angel sex. It's from the fallen angels that had sex with the women. This is literally where this stems from. And so it's an occultic language. All the old books of witchcraft they have English words in them. Like the English is it's witch tongue is what it's called. Okay, so like when you start digging into stuff, you'll be like, okay, this is really weird. Why is it saying these things in here? These things in here that are all English related. Bro, why is it called spelling in our language?
They're all casting spells, right?
It is a spell casting language, bro. It's called, do you know where the word, grammar comes from?
No.
Etymology of grammar. Google it, somebody. Etymology of grammar. It literally says witchcraft, incantations, mumbo jumbo, spells. So like when you study what the etymology of words, your whole perspective starts to shift. Like grammar is from grimoire. Grimoire is the old books of witchcraft. That's what grimoire is. That's where we get the word grammar. Okay, that's why it's called the Grammys. When people get awards at the Grammys, bro, it's witchcraft. They're rewarding you for witchcraft. Like that's why it's called that. Okay, program. Pro means for. Gram means witchcraft. Programming you. Program. programmer, it's programmar, it's pro witchcraft, it's for witchcraft. Like everything that you're watching, I mean, like the television, they're telling you lying visions, tell lie visions, okay? And it's the channel. In witchcraft, it's called channeling. It's the media, okay? The media that you watch is called the medium, is the witch. When you go talk to a medium, the medium's the in-between, you and the bigs and the littles. You're the little, the bigs are the gods, the Thor and all of them, okay? And then the medium is the in-between. That's the person that goes between the gods and you. That's mediumship. That's why it's called the media.
Wow.
So, dude, when you see it like that, it's like, dude, the whole thing is occultic. It's all a bunch of witchcraft, but we're so naive to it. I mean, Hollywood is the wood that wizards and witches craft their wands and staves out of. They craft it out of Hollywood. It's not like they're telling you what it is. Okay, they're telling you straight up. It's like, but we naively see these things and then brush it off and don't think that, oh, that's whatever. We don't think that's weird.
You know, I've told you guys this before when I went through my little psychosis stage when I was 17, 18, y'all, and it lasted damn near a year. I saw TV, like your everyday TV shows, right? My shows back in the day, King of Queens, George Lopez shows, Smart Guy. I don't know, I can go on, right? Used to watch these shows, you know, back in the day. And you see when the audience laughs in the background, right? The fake audience laughs. They're not laughing because what they said was funny, y'all. It's something deeper, right? It's demonic. It's evil. That's why they're laughing. You just got to see it in that realm, y'all. And I saw it. Music, right? The way, like, I listen to hip hop, y'all. That's what I used to listen to, right? But you know, when there's an album cover, like I don't know if anyone remembers, there used to be Music Choice, right? They would just play music. They had all the genres of music, and they would post pictures of the artist, right? It would just be the picture of the artist. They tell a little fun fact on Music Choice, right? I think it's still around if you know have those channels. But the way that the artist is staring into that camera, the poses they're doing, like it's deep, y'all. It's deep. The poses they're doing, and you know when when you're getting your photos taken, they're like, put your hand here, like put your hand here, like with the babies, like put their hand here, and put their hands up. Like they're telling these artists, put your hand here, look this way, look down, look up. Like I'm telling you, they're for a reason. These album covers, they're the way they're looking at the camera is demonic. It's evil. I'm telling you, it's deep, y'all. It's very, very deep. I'm gonna have to do an episode on my second channel just talking about it, y'all. It's scary.
I sat down with Michael Franzese. You know what that is?
Yeah, from the mob.
From the Colombo crime family. You know what he said? He said Michael got caught up in some stuff. The mafia don't use mafia soldiers and stuff like that. They hire other people. They hired blacks for that. Mm. The two killers of Michael Jordan's father.
Saw that in
how
The
could
Sopranos.
they afford that lawyer?
Mm. That's deep.
Need my hair to thicken up top, y'all.
My son called me and said,
"How old is your son?"
He's 6. He called me and said, "Dad, I'm not eating no McDonald's no more. It's people in that. It's humans in that. It's how you feel about that?
How many McDonald's?"
See, we're gonna interrupt that, y'all. What's crazy? It's like I tell you guys this all the time. His son is 6 years old. He is 6 years old. He's watching these type of clips. I'm 36, y'all. He's watching somebody that's 30 years older than him. We're watching the same things. I'm watching the same thing that this 6-year-old is watching on TikTok, right? He's watching the same videos. Right. And I know some of you guys say you watch it with your kids, whatever. I'm not saying nothing bad about that. I'm just saying what's crazy is that 6-year-old on his own, right? The dad wasn't there scrolling with them. He was by himself. He called his dad. Just all this TikTok. I'm not eating McDonald's no more. They're putting, like, what else is that 6-year-old watching that I'm 36 watching? You know what I mean? Like, that's what's crazy now. These young kids, they're watching what adults are watching. Think about back when I was in, I'm speaking from my age. In 1996, I was 6 years old. I wasn't watching what my parents was watching, right? I might sit down on a Saturday night and watch Cops or America's Most Wanted. I didn't know what was going on when my dad was watching, while I'm playing with my toys, look up, whatever. But I wasn't sitting there in tune to the fact that I was saying, like to my dad, I'm not going to drink and drive because I don't want to get a DUI like that guy. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't that deep into it. This kid is so deep into it. He's not going to eat McDonald's no more because there's human meat in it. That's crazy.
Exist compared to the amount of cows in America. There are 4 times more McDonald's than there are cows in America.
Yeah.
It goes even further to Subway. Subway said they served tuna sandwiches. They did DNA tests on there.
Hey, I love a tuna
He was
sandwich
hunting
from
at the
Subway.
time and he
I'm
come
sorry.
across them and he never
It's been
seen
a
anything
while,
such
but-
as beautiful as them. So yeah, the eyes tempted him over time. But he knew not to interfere with them while they were doing ceremony. So he sat back and he watched them. And yeah, he was intrigued by them. But he knew he couldn't go near them. Like I said, they were doing ceremony. And what they carried, Bill, is they carried digging sticks. And we call them double eagle. And on these digging sticks, yams, they were using for yam. But on the end of them was these really powerful crystals on the end of these sticks. Yeah, so they knew not to go anywhere near him because of those sticks. They were very powerful. So over time, good and Bill, he followed him and he watched them. And then when the seven sisters had a rest, a swim at the next water hole, he decided to make his move on them, on the two younger sisters, because they put their yam sticks down, see? They put them double eagles down. And they are very powerful. He knew he had no chance while they had them in their hand. So the moment they put them magic sticks down, double eagle, Gormbill made his move and he snatched two of the younger sisters. And the two young sisters told him, these are the words that we've never forgotten and we know. Exactly what they said to Gormbill is that you can't marry us. We're your sisters.
It's illegal to take water from the Great Lakes. It's 20% of the world's fresh water. The way the Nestle Corporation is getting around it is that they put a well, they buy land, they grease the local politicians, and then they sink a well into a tributary that leads into the Great Lakes. And they're pumping 400,000 gallons an hour out, bottling it and selling it to you more expensive than gasoline, and they get it free.
What do you mean dignity? See, it's illegal for us. But if you got the certain amount of money to put in these politicians' pockets, you're allowed to. That's why I say you got money, you can send a rocket to space, y'all. You can do whatever the hell you want.
Is out the window now. Every third billboard is for some lawyer. Everyone's just cashing in. Dignity prevented that in the past. You had a word, you had a bond, you had a handshake. The warehouse that my studio's in, tenant in there, and he had 9 months left on the lease. I was anxious to get in there and start making it a car shop. I go, you got 9 months left on your lease? He goes, yeah. I'm ready to move in whenever you're ready to move out. Came to me 3 weeks later, said, I found a place. I said, that's good. You're free to leave. He said, I'm going to need you to sign some paperwork to get me out of the lease. I said, we don't need paperwork. I said, you could leave. He said, I'm not leaving without the paperwork. I said, look. I looked in the eye, shook your hand. I said, you can leave. You can leave. Or you can stay for another 9 months and pay me rent, but I'm not signing anything.
But the issue is that we don't have that level of dignity anymore, and yet you almost have to protect yourself. Like, there are so many deals in real estate. You know, if we put this in writing, it's going to maybe create some issues. Why don't we just shake on it and this is what it is? But you have to trust the other person with your life. They could easily turn around and just get you right back.
That's where we're at now. We didn't used to be there, but now we're there.
Just want to point out.
I mean, yeah, easily. Adam Carolla could run into some hard times, go broke, right? Something happens, gets canceled, right? Loses everything. Damn, I got this guy under contract still. Let me get him, right? You know what I mean? Let me get him. I need that money. Let me. He broke the contract. Yeah, we shook hands. That's what it turns into, y'all. That's why, especially if you don't know the guy you're just renting from him, you know, I don't think that's the best advice. Yeah, maybe in the 60s, the 50s, it was like that, y'all. But now you can't trust people. And that's a shame, right? It's a shame. That's just the way it is now.
Well, you often see these shapes in these buildings that are now called churches, etc. But these shapes are not accidental. If you look into something called cymatics, you'll see that when sound is played through water, etc., or if you put like sand on a speaker and play it at different frequencies, it creates different shapes. And these are more often than not the shapes that it creates. Very weird.
And this is the stuff that goes on in big packing plants. A bed of guts covering the whole floor.
Stinks in there.
Now just hundreds or maybe thousands of pig heads. Oh, Jesus, man. More guts on the floor. Overflowing bins. What happens to all this? Shout out to David Olmos. He worked at this JBS facility in Louisville, Kentucky. Post stuff like this to expose them.
Wow. Things we
when you
don't
buy
see,
bacon
right?
or sausage or some other pork at the store, this is where it comes from. Factory farming sucks.
I never did the thing where it finds out, like you do a swab and you find out where you're from. I just never trusted that. I just don't trust stuff like, where's your swab? And we can tell you where you're from. Matter of fact, it also wrecks a lot of families. I specifically know 2 different instances. One specifically where the guy had a full ride at a huge college and he got his girl pregnant. And next thing you know, he married her, do the right thing, stayed in town, worked at a grocery store, became the manager, and then ran that store for years and years. And then he had another child, only to find out years later that first child wasn't his. Whew. And she knew. So yeah, this little swab, I think it's more for the kids to go, you know what, man, I don't trust my mother.
I just don't see any positivity coming out of this administration. It seems very self-serving. I have a list of credit I could go through, but I mean, what was the last one? He made it so he had Tom Blanche do the dirty work so that him or anybody in his family could never be audited by the IRS. What the is that?
Mm-hmm.
The drone company, the $400 million jet from Qatar.
Yep.
The, what is it? The Executives Club. You know about that?
Yeah, that they started in DC.
You don't hear about any of this.
Yeah.
Does this look like he's serving the people? No. So you're going to serve that?
He got us, y'all. He got us.
Or are you going to speak out against it and let everybody know what the is happening?
I feel like now people are making content to get people to watch the content, but they're not making the content anymore. Does this make sense? So it's like, okay, let me try and explain this. Like when somebody made Game of Thrones, they made Game of Thrones to, I assume, tell a good story. And then the byproduct of the good story is that people read it or watch it. That's the byproduct of telling a good story. But then I think some people with the internet now, they make content to get people to watch the content so that they can just have more people, so they can make more content. But when you actually look at the content, you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
It's just content that keeps you watching so that they can keep on, but it's not actually good.
Riots are breaking.
Says the guy, I'm just assuming, probably got a contract with Spotify. They put his podcast #1, right? They put his podcast, push it out before the guy that's not signed to the contracts. That guy's podcast is never going to get taken off. But Trevor Noah, famous celebrity, signs a contract with iHeartMedia. I don't know. He's under contract with somebody, right? He's got his own sponsors. He's got companies from Spotify that reach out to him to be talking like that, y'all. You're not organic, bro. You're not organic.
Across
Don't bash the little guy.
That's because Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump want to build $1.4 billion of luxury hotel on protected and indigenous land to Albanians in a luxury resort project that is linked directly to Israel. Things have gotten so bad that this is the house of the prime minister who changed the laws to allow this to happen. They have completely set his house on fire. The plan is to develop parts of Sazon Island into a high-end resort.
I'm sorry, that's what it's going to take to change this country, y'all. It's not going to take us voting in a Democrat this time. It's not going to take us voting another Republican. It's not. It's going to take that, right? The guy that signed that law, guess what? His house is, they're looking for him. We want blood. Unfortunately, that's what it's going to take to change this country. Until then, ain't nothing going to change. I don't care who's in the office. We learned that. We got big promises from this guy. Back to how it was before 2020. That's what we thought. That's what I thought, right? I used to tell my parents, I don't give a damn what he's saying, right? Because he's saying the same stuff he's saying now. But now it's pissing everybody off because we're paying a lot of money for things. Back then, we had gas under $2. Interest rate was 3%. Cars were low. I don't give a damn what this guy can call me whatever racial slur he wants. I don't care. Keep these groceries low and keep this gas low. You can do whatever the hell you want. That was my opinion on it. That's how I felt. But now that it's affecting everyone's pockets, you know what I mean?
Not just an empty lot. This is protected
Probably a bad way to
Albanian
think, but that's how
land.
I felt.
It's an ecologically very sensitive area, home to protective marine life, migratory birds, and one of the Mediterranean's most important coastal ecosystems.
Best sparkling water I ever had, I think.
Protests erupted after Ivanka Trump came out and said that the Sazon Island is a private island that they discovered, which is insane. This is not some random land that they just discovered. This has been protected Albanian land, and it's very sacred to the Albanian people. And no one's talking about it. No American outlet, no American creator is talking or covering it. Please be the voice for Albanian people. If this resort gets built, it's going to be incredibly devastating for the Mediterranean, the marine life in the Mediterranean, and just general nature, and it's just so fucked up. If you know about this, let me know in the comment section below, and make sure you follow me for more news updates like this.
So you're upset that I took a 30-minute lunch break. My 30-minute lunch break that's in my contract.
Yeah, we don't do lunch breaks here. So
What
I just
does
need to
that
know
mean?
where you got that idea. Contracts are just general. They're sent out to everyone at the company. Different people have different rules.
But the rules in my contract stated that I got a lunch break.
That is
when
not the rule that I have over here as your manager.
When I auto-applied for the role on Sprout with like a tailored application, it specifically said in the job description that I got a 30-minute paid lunch break.
I mean, yeah, it's paid if you work at your desk because you're not stopping the work like everyone else is.
How is that attitude, man? I'd
What? I don't understand why that's such a crazy concept for you. Why do you need to eat so much anyway? I see you with breakfast, I see you with snacks. Like, you don't need to get up and go get McDonald's for lunch every day.
She laughed. That was funny.
I don't get McDonald's for lunch.
I don't care. You just need to be at your desk.
Why do you eat so much? You eat breakfast, you eat snacks, you want she even had a laugh. Like I like to eat. What do you mean?
Okay, there's no lunch breaks here.
What's the secret thing that Mexican cartels use?
People sometimes get afraid when I share something that to them was secret. An example of this, I shared a picture of a zip tie restraint with an angle cut in the inside of them. So when they would put them on, the angle cut in the zip tie would into your wrists. That was pretty unknown to the general public, but it was widely used in Mexico. The reason they made that way is YouTube escape and evasion videos, doing the classic bursting method. So they decided to put angles in them. When you try to do that, you would hurt yourself. That is a product of evolution. And we, as people that share some of that stuff, are better served educating the public about some of these things.
Did anybody else just see the post that got deleted of that mom saying that her and her 12-year-old daughter made a TikTok account to do TikTok dances over the summer for fun? They had a huge influx of followers, and when they looked at the analytics, it was entirely men. And they're wondering why men are following them and not what they expected to be more young girls. And
no duh.
I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. Those are predators. Predators are following you, okay? One predator.
I mean, but what do you... How does this come off? How did this come off without me sounding like a damn creeper? But what do you think? Who do you think's gonna follow you? Little 5-year-old? They're not watching this. Little 5-year-olds, or however old 11-year-olds. They're not watching this. I don't know what they're watching. But what do you expect?
Saw your video and said jackpot, and he took that video and he sent it to his friends, who then sent your TikTok profile to their other friends, and now there's a whole network of predators who are watching you and your daughter dance online.
If this is the video, that family is the LeBrant family, very popular influencers. These mothers know and use their children. They know. We're going to talk about that in a second. Another person saying the LeBrant family, she's pimping out her kid. What was she expecting? I mean, clearly everybody knows that this is disgusting, and people shouldn't be acting this way on the internet, but at the same time, what do you expect? I see unhinged comments all the time on my channel, and I basically just have to brush them off and say that's how it works on the internet. As bad as it sounds and crazy as it is, putting stuff up like this and then seeing the comments and who's actually watching, if you don't delete the videos and the page entirely, you're basically just enabling this to keep going on. Because, oh man, does this get even worse.
Do you know right now? Okay, I got nervous because I was like, I don't want to sound like a creeper, like saying, what do you expect? But that's what he said too. Like, just like, what do you expect? What do you expect? You have your young one and you dancing. Like, what do you expect? It's crazy.
LA, if you're
then
just
you keep
a
it
mom
up,
and
like you
pop
said.
landlord, maybe you own one apartment building with units. If you have like a drug addict, crazy person living in there, most of them now also with their Section 8 scammer and Range Rovers, have 2 cars. If you want to get them out, they can go a whole year with not paying these landlords, and then they have to pay $100,000 in legal fees to try to get them out. So then they settle with this criminal that's just abusing this loophole and this system. They'll give them 50, 40K to just leave. That person's not put on any list, and then they go do it to another apartment building.
Jesus Christ.
It's so crazy.
They're gonna start shrinking the middle class so much that there will be no economical development in Mexico for a good while. If the middle class is absolutely shrinked and all you have left is probably an upper class and then a lower class. And the cartel is kind of like monopolizing and going in between both. Then a lot of the money you need for that country, for that middle class to live, it's going to come through illegal sources. This new research by the Science magazine said that the cartels are the 5th largest employers in Mexico, right below the Mexican government. So if the Mexican government will go after cartel activity and stop all the money moving related to any criminal organization, we will become like poor immediately, man. We'll become one of the most poor countries in America, probably in the world, man.
The Americans told me in 2001 that if I told them where the Arabs were, I could grow all the poppy I wanted. And I said, what American told you could grow poppy? I fly out to Kabul, and there was a helicopter waiting for me and took me to Bagram. They said, listen, we're not going to take you to the poppy fields. It's too dangerous. And I said, no, you are going to take me. No, it's...
Who are you talking to?
To the military. No, it's too dangerous. And I said, listen, with all due respect, and I hate to do this, it's not my nature, but being a senior staff member on a congressional oversight committee, I have brigadier general 1-star status. So I'm ordering you to fly me to Kandahar and then to Lashkar Gah and then back to Bagram. They did it. We go to Kandahar, and it was just a day of meetings in the base there, and I met the Afghans. I said, I want to go out into the fields and I want to talk to a poppy farmer. He said, let's go. We had a couple of jeeps, we had security, we had a translator. I don't speak Pashto. We go out into the fields, and I mean, as far as your eyes can possibly see, it's just an ocean of heroin poppy.
Wow.
So sure enough, we see a poppy farmer, and we go up to him, Salamu alaikum, and we get out, and he's like, who are you? So I said, I'm from the Congress in Washington, and I want to talk to you about the poppy. He's like, okay, what about the poppy? And I asked a very stupid question. It wasn't stupid, it was naive. I said, why would you grow poppy when you can grow vegetables with 2 growing seasons, like tomatoes or onions or pomegranates? You can cultivate them and then
export them,
reap them twice in a year and export them. And he goes like this. He goes, the Americans told me in 2001 that if I told them where the Arabs were, I could grow all the poppy I wanted. And I said, what American told you could grow poppy? And the security guy says, meeting over. And he grabs me by the arm and he physically pulls me back to the Jeep.
Okay, so this NPC theory is like one of the craziest rabbit holes I've ever heard of.
What does that mean?
Okay, so it's basically like there's like 600,000 live players in this server, and like the rest are basically NPCs.
So basically, it's like there's 600,000 real people on Earth.
Yeah, the rest of the 8 billion people are like not even real.
Wow, bro, that's crazy. Okay, so what's the proof behind this?
Basically, the theory is like when you go to like a concert or like a big event, like most of those people aren't, have souls. Basically, that's what the theory is, that most people don't have souls. There's this author named Dolores Cannon, and she calls them backdrop people, and she says like your life is like a movie, and like these people are like backdrop people. They don't have any souls, and like it's all illusion basically. Like these people are just what you manifested to like fill up space. But you can't prove or disprove this theory, really. There's no way to know whether that person next to you has a conscience or not. And you can't prove that you're not NPC either, right?
That's crazy. Honestly, it's one of the wildest things I've heard. I can't think about it too long because it like starts to scare me a little bit.
And everywhere I go now, they'll say, tell us more about the backdrop people. It wouldn't be a very good movie, would it, if you were the only person in the movie? You cast all the extras to play all the parts of all the people. Those are the backdrop people. But this is what makes it even stranger. The backdrop people are not real. They're not real people. They're not anything. They are energy. Well, the idea, nothing is real anyway. Everything is energy. Everything is illusion.
So I can't afford my gas. But you expect me to pay your gas. It doesn't make any sense to me. Especially the post office. How are you going to charge me for my mail? This doesn't make any sense to me.
You're already paying for their gas. You just don't realize it, right? There's little Amazon fees when you order something off Amazon, when you ship something with FedEx. These things are all put into not just the weight. You're not just paying for the weight. You're paying for everything. That's what you don't realize. Like when you live at an apartment, y'all, amenities on an apartment, how they sell you, we got barbecue grills, we got a playground, we got dog parks, we got, I don't know, 8, dog bag areas, we got swimming pool, we got barbecue grills, right? You're paying for those in your rent. They're renting that gym equipment. They're renting that. Right? Those amenities, you're paying for that. That's what you don't realize. I used to be in an apartment for 7 years, y'all. Every Saturday, I would meet me and my dog, Joy, that you guys saw. I didn't have Boone at the time. We would go into the office on Saturday mornings. I had an old man, Joe, right? We would meet in there, drink coffee for like 3 hours with the front desk girls every Saturday. Go in there, drink coffee, and just chit chat. And they would tell us all these things, y'all. All those things in at apartments, you're paying for that in your rent. Same thing with this Prime, with UPS, all that. When you ship something, when you buy something, that is all in the tallies. They don't say like you're paying for gas, you're paying for the charging station for these new Amazon cars. Like they don't tell you that, but it's in that Amazon fee. It's all there. We're all paying for it. We've been paying for it.
How does this work? Brand new Wendy's, but here's the difference. You cannot sit down inside to eat your food. You're going to order your food from this window, right? And then you're going to walk around the building, right? And you're going to sit down and eat right there. Now, if you're doing DoorDash, you walk through these doors and you're going to pick up your food right there or what have you. And they're going to have computer screens right there where you can order your food. This is how they're doing it now in some locations with Wendy's and probably other restaurants.
Oh, it's coming all over.
Traditionally
eventually.
you would be able to go in and sit down and eat, but now they're switching it up. This is new to me. Let me know in your city, wherever you from, y'all got these style type of restaurants where you can't sit down and eat no more. There's essentially no lobby. Everything is pretty much on the outside. And this is a brand new Wendy's.
Well, Native Americans believe that Bigfoot and UFOs, they came from the stars. Each tribe does. And just like you said, all of the tribes have a different name for these.
Yeah.
But no tribe believes it's an animal.
Really?
No tribe believes it's an animal.
What do they think it is?
It's a human. It's an offshoot. There's a very...
They think it came from the stars?
They came from the stars. There's a very, very famous set of stories coming out of the Pacific Northwest out of the 1920s and 30s, where a tribe of Native Americans hear that there's some people walking down a trail through the woods. Bigfoot walks in front of them, starts throwing rocks at him, doesn't hit him, throwing rocks at him. The people go home, they tell the sheriff, hey, these huge hairy things are throwing rocks at us. Sheriff says, oh, that's BS, we'll go out there, we'll kill them all. The tribe hears about this, and Joe, it makes no sense. They have a press conference, swear as I'm talking to you. And 3 tribes in the Pacific Northwest have a press conference, and it's in the Oregonian newspaper on the front page. When I found it, I said, how come no other Bigfoot researchers ever talked about this? Why? Because it doesn't support their belief system that they think it's an ape or a gorilla. And here the tribe's saying, it's a tribe of people. We've traded with them at times.
What?
They trade things with us at times.
What do they give you back?
Sometimes.
So crazy, y'all. Like, goes against our narrative. We're not going to talk about it. It's crazy.
They will give them ornaments or certain kinds of foods that they have a tough time getting, and they will come back and they will give them certain kinds of food, animals, etc. But in this story on the front page of the Oregonian, they talk about this. And when I've gone to the Pacific Northwest, and Joe, there's not one tribe up there that believes they're an animal. None of them do. And they're the ones that have lived with them and handed these stories down over the ages.
The first time Donald Trump had sex with Melania was on my plane. This is Epstein talking. Remember how she said in her statement, I was never on Jeffrey Epstein's plane, I was never on his island? Little did he know I beat him to the punch a year before when I was at a party of New York's top models. Things got wild, and by the end of the night, I ended up almost naked in the back of a limo going at it with Melania. That is Jeffrey Epstein claiming that he Melania before Donald Trump. That's a big claim.
our president.
Wasn't Eric Kirk pregnant after Charlie died?
Forgot about
Where
that,
that baby
huh?
at?
I did.
It's been 9 months. Where the baby at? I ain't seen one baby bump. Where the baby at? Eric Kirk, where the baby at? Come on now. You doing all the pyrotechnic, but you can't show where the baby at? Where the baby at? I know you ain't get rid of it. I know you ain't get rid of it.
Why do you think people still go to, say, the illegal gambling rings like that when you can literally go on the app?
Well, here's why. Unfortunately, gambling is an addiction, right? So that's what they're going to do. They're going to go to the app first. But they're a gambler. So they think my next bet is the one that's going to make it work. So they're going to go and they're going to tap out all their cards.
Such a
They're
tough
gonna go
life.
all these apps. And next thing you know, they're stuck, right? But they're feeling lucky. Knicks are going to win tomorrow night. So I'm going to double down. I'm going to go with a mob for a loan. So even though initially you think that it's going to knock the mob out, it's not. It's actually going to help the mob because they're already into so much debt that now they're going to play a big number and then they're going to even lose more. But they think because it's an addiction that they're going to win the next one, right? That's just the nature of the game. So unfortunately, it keeps them in the business. And the mob has adapted. Like when you look at these, this, as I said, I keep referring to this arrest from 6 months ago, like some of the things that they did, like x-ray tables, x-ray glasses, like that's pretty sophisticated stuff. It just shows you that there are smart guys within the mob. You know what I mean? So the mob's been around for 125 years. They're not going away. They try to stay under the radar. That's what they want to do. As I said, they hated Gotti. So stay under the radar and make their money.
Anyone notice the iPhone keyboard has been getting progressively worse?
Everything I spell recently is wrong. Every single thing. And I'm not like a bad speller, but every time I text someone, it's wrong. And I lose my mind.
I feel slower.
And then I'm like, where's the A? Why is my thing? I'm hitting the A.
You used to be so good at it before.
Yeah.
Well, this is a theory from Rachel's. He said, "Hi, podcast people. The iPhone keyboard has been getting progressively worse.
Yes.
I can't go one sentence without a typo, and autocorrect doesn't seem to pick up as many words. It's been really frustrating, and I didn't realize that so many other people were noticing it too." Anyway, the theory is that the iPhone keyboard is getting progressively worse so that you're annoyed with it into sending voice memos or voice to text. I personally hate texting because it feels like my fingers can't type fast, so they can start getting more and more samples of your voice. I personally hate texting because it feels like my fingers can't type fast or correct enough, so I always just send voice memos to my friends.
I literally just told you when we were setting up, I've become one of those old people who talks to text now because of this.
If we as human beings didn't fish the ocean for 7 years, it would be back to 99% fullness of what it's at now. That's it. 7 years is all it would take, allegedly.
Do you think there's a certain country or certain part of the world that have it right when it comes to nature and to animalia?
Palau, which is a tiny little island nation, I think the first country in the world that said no commercial fishing. It's like, go out and kill your own fish all you like and eat them, but we're not doing any commercial fishing. Yeah. That's awesome. You want to go out and shoot a fish? Go shoot a fish, but you're not buying it from a purse seiner who's killing dolphins and wiping out coral reef.
How dangerous is it for a citizen or a tourist to walk the streets of Seattle when fentanyl is being used openly on the streets?
It's really weird because you can walk around the corner here, and then if they're smoking it right in your face, you actually feel the effects.
I'm gonna do a walkthrough right here and just walk you guys through and show you guys what I'm seeing as I walk. We got people hunched over on the ground. We got some people out here doing outreach. A lot of people with lighters, a lot of people with foil. A lot of people are passed out on the ground. People look like they're kind of stuck in a position they don't know how to get out of. So you've been coming out here for quite some time now, and how have you seen the situation change year over year?
Well, it has changed dramatically because I moved to Seattle 5 years ago, and definitely many businesses have moved. The streets look very dirty. It's very unsafe to be around here. And definitely, this is not the best area of Seattle.
And do you think people that were coming here, say as a tourist, and they come here, do you think they're expecting to see all this stuff?
Definitely not. I used to work at the Four Seasons Seattle down here, and I remember that many of our clients would complain about how dirty and unsafe the city looks like.
What are we seeing here on the streets? What's taking over the streets here?
Drugs, and it's just not safe.
I think the world ended in 2012. Okay? Now, a couple things happened. For one, you guys know about CERN, right?
No.
Okay, CERN, the Hydrogen Collider. And what that is they discovered the God particle through that. They've been doing tests since this thing is fired up that have to do with what makes up the universe, the secrets of the universe, right? So since this thing has fired up in 2012, they said in theory it could have collapsed time itself or Earth, or ended the Earth from what we know it, right? Because they're smashing atoms together and doing all these different things. So that fired up in 2012. What movie was about a world-ending event?
2012?
2012.
Love that movie.
Okay. So after all that, I think after 2012, other timelines have been colliding with each other, right? So the world we knew ended. And now what we're seeing is layers of different realities happening. So to that point, that lady may be from somewhere.
Is this the worst man cover you've ever seen in your life? I mean, you know, there's two versions, Dante. The mother got his nails painted on one, and then he spread eagle on the other one. Like, you can't get much worse than either one of them.
Hey, I would tell you, man, some things I just don't understand. Yes. You know, I ask my kids about it. I don't understand something. I just don't. That's just how I was raised. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you this. I remember doing the Madden shoot and the rookie premiere. So they have you doing like 20 different jumps off the trampoline, different poses. So Madden chose this. I'm pretty sure he probably did 20 different poses or different action shots, and they chose this actual one. So I don't know if he said, "Hey, I want y'all to pick that one," but
that's a real one. That's a real one right there. See, that's a real one. Dante, you just in the pocket, ready to get it.
I hacked this game, home. I was in the second grade.
I ain't got no weird ass shit going on, man.
I was in the second grade. I had this one on me. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Come on.
Yeah, legendary.
Hey, so to his defense, I don't know, but it's just some other things that I just don't understand.
That's what I was saying, y'all. I told you. They have you do these poses for a reason. They have that nail polish on them for a reason, right? That wasn't his choice to have that nail polish on. You want that in Madden Cup? Let's paint your nails, right? I don't really feel comfortable. Let's paint your nails. You know what I mean? Like they have you poke, and these poses, when you see it from a different reality, they're demonic, y'all. Like that pose with his hands, like that you see on the thumbnail with his hands crossed and his head down. Like that's sorry, I got a phone call. That's for a reason, y'all. It's crazy. But I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. I gotta edit this video up. I get the day off tomorrow, right? Doing Saturdays and Tuesdays are a day off over here. Well needed. I need to put this room together in here. I got clothes everywhere, boxes. So I need to finally get this room organized, because when it's organized, you just feel clean, y'all. You just feel clean. Like I was telling my lady, once we get our forever house, which is our next house, like we came out here to try it out. I don't know how we're feeling about it. You know, I found out I love Texas a lot more than I loved my Arizona, but we'll cross that bridge. You know, it's only been 2 weeks, so we'll cross that bridge, you know, a year from now. But the green screen, I don't know why, y'all. I wish I could do my own background, but it just doesn't work. I've tried it. I've been back and forth from green screen. All my people out there that, you know, have been watching me forever, I'll have a green screen, and the next day I have a background in, because I love decorating my background, but you guys just don't, you know, enjoy it. I don't think you did not enjoy it purposely, but I just think this background here is just more, you know, more relaxing, more eye-catching, more, you know what I mean? So, but I told her I want, you know, my green screen, a sick green screen though, like with the hospital rooms when you walk in and they close the curtain, like I want a curtain that goes all around me so my hands don't get cut off like that, right? And then, but in front of me, that's where I want my background. I want a dope like background in front of me, because I just work better with lights and all that, y'all. So we'll get into that. I'll show you guys a tour when that day comes, y'all. But I'm gonna get out of here. If you guys enjoyed this, I'm gonna put my video I did yesterday on my second channel, Exposing Hollywood. It's gonna pop up over here. It's Friday night, y'all. Hope you guys have a good Friday. I'm gonna throw my playlist up over here. Go down that rabbit hole. I'll see you guys on the next one on Sunday. Later.